Hello and welcome to Jedediah's Corner. My name is Jedediah. Yesterday, this man, Gvir, formerly convicted of incitement to racism, he weighed in on this situation here. This young man, this 12-year-old boy, who lit off a harmless firework during Ramadan. It's not uncommon for children or anyone to light off fireworks during Ramadan. This is no threat to anyone. What did the IDF do in response to this child showing a tiny bit of joy? They shot him close to his heart. They didn't kill him immediately. Then they proceeded to arrest him instead of bringing him medical treatment. And this child, this 12-year-old child who's gone through the most intense, unbelievable suffering over this last 6 months, is now dead because he lit off a firework. This is his mother. This is his father. Itmar Ben-Gvir, knowing all the facts, instead of doing something which would have been incredibly out of character for him, reprimanding the people he's in charge of because they put this man in charge of the police in the occupied territories. That is why 200 Palestinians lost their lives in the West Bank in the first 6 days of October. Because this man, this racist, this man who belonged to a political party that was on terrorism lists in the United States since 1994, called Kahani Chai, started by a terrorist who was caught manufacturing explosives in Brooklyn to blow up the Libyan embassy. This man here stole, when he was a teenager, he stole the hood ornament of the Prime Minister's car in Israel right before the Prime Minister was killed. He's always been a violent extremist and he's always been a racist. So he waddled his fat fucking ass down to the police station, not to reprimand, but to applaud the actions of these IDF police officers who terrorize people constantly in Gaza and the West Bank, who shoot children in the head, who murder hungry people looking for food. He went down there and he applauded this man calling the 12-year-old boy a terrorist. These are the people that are in charge in Israel. So what can we do? We can remember. We can report. We can point out inconsistencies and lies. And we can pray. We can lobby our government. We can protest. We can boycott. We can divest, and we can sanction. But we can't stop the killing. Only the governments of Israel or the United States have the ability to stop the famine that is already hitting the people in Rafah, to stop the mass slaughter, and to hold Israel accountable for the last 6 months where they've committed hundreds of war crimes on camera and bragged about them, as they pretend that the IDF is the most moral army in the world and is always careful not to kill civilians. The evidence points in the opposite direction. So you have actions on one side and you have words on the other. Which one are you going to believe? Are you going to believe your lying eyes that have over this last 6 months witnessed every single day new atrocities? We have seen the bodies blown apart and bleeding on the ground. You cannot tell us now that none of that happened. The people in the United States who lost family members will never forgive you. They will never vote for the lesser of two evils when the one evil has sat back and twiddled his thumbs and talked just to provide Israel with more time to kill more people. It must be nice to have that luxury. It must be nice to have the luxury of time, to have another day to think things over. While the Palestinians, every hour, every second of every day for the last 6 months, suffer under the most incredible torture. One of the worst tortures must be not knowing what it comes after, not knowing if there will even be an after, not knowing when the bomb will drop, not knowing when your family will be killed, not knowing when you'll get that phone call that your brother or your sister was callously murdered, as if their lives were not even as important as a bag of animal feed. There is no excuse. There is no Hasbara. There is no rhetoric. There is no oratory that can overcome the reality, the pictures, and the video evidence posted by the very soldiers we are accusing of committing war crimes. We know that they committed war crimes because they posted themselves committing war crimes. They've blinded children in their prisons by refusing them medical treatment. And now, in Gaza, if you have diabetes, you cannot get insulin. If your arm was blown off by an Israeli bomb, you have to go through surgery without anesthesia. If you had cancer, you have no dialysis medicine. If you've lost blood, the replacement blood is very, very, very in very short supply. If you're hurt and you need to go to the hospital, there are very few left standing. If you were in college, if you were in university, your universities were all systematically destroyed. It wasn't just the killing of people. It was also the destruction of an entire society. That is the definition of genocide. Israel has already committed a genocide. They are currently on trial for these crimes. And we are documenting every single last one. And we will never let the world forget, because we say, just like you said, and still say, never again for anybody. Never again for anybody. Never again for anybody. So free Palestine. Free Palestine. And me saying free Palestine does not mean that I wish any harm on any Jewish person in America or in Israel. Me saying free Palestine does not mean that I hate Jewish people. Me saying free Palestine does not mean that I think Israel should not have their right to their own self-determination. I just believe that any people who seek their own state cannot do it at the expense of another. We have seen this happen throughout history. And every settler colonial project has been condemned. There is no justification. This has been Jedediah's Corner. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will do my best to bring you more. Peace. Have a very good night and day. And we say peace, not victory. We say peace.